Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Since the debut of Saturday Night Live on October 11th, 1975, the Weekend Update has been a staple segment of the show. In this video, I'm going to take a look back at the history of SNL's Weekend Update and dig in a little as to why host Norm Macdonald was fired from that role in 1997. As a side note, I want to thank Terrell Bellinger, a subscriber to my channel, for suggesting I consider doing a video on this topic. It was a lot of fun. Now, over the years, a number of comedians and Saturday Night Live alumni have been the host of the Weekend Update, starting with Chevy Chase, who helped create the SNL segment along with writer Herb Sargent. Subsequent Weekend Update anchors included Jane Curtin, Dennis Miller, and Kevin Nealon, just to name a few. Then, in 1994, Norm Macdonald took over the role of Weekend Update anchor. Now, Macdonald was great in this role. In fact, Chevy Chase was quoted as saying that Macdonald was the only other guy who did the segment funny, which to me is high praise of Macdonald's work. One of the celebrities that Macdonald would target with his jokes was former NFL running back O.J. Simpson, who had recently been arrested and put on trial for the murder of his former wife, Nicole Brown Simpson. Enter NBC executive Don Ohlmeyer, an NBC exec and longtime friend of O.J. Simpson. Ohlmeyer had been the producer of Monday Night Football during the 1970s and had continued to climb the corporate ladder at NBC over the years. In fact, it's said that he coined the phrase, must-see TV. Well, apparently he didn't appreciate Macdonald's continued targeting of O.J. Simpson during the Weekend Update segments. In fact, he demanded that Lorne Michaels dismiss Macdonald in December of 1997, despite being mid-season, and cited the reason for Macdonald's firing was due to the fact that Macdonald wasn't funny. Shortly after getting canned from the Update desk, Macdonald appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, where he would discuss his firing from the Weekend Update. Macdonald was surprisingly calm while discussing the incident, even referring to Ohlmeyer as a good man. Now, I've never met Ohlmeyer, so I can't say whether or not he was a good man, but I do think it's crazy that he had Macdonald fired over the O.J. Simpson jokes. SNL has never shied away from making anything the butt of a joke on the show, so it's crazy to think that something like the O.J. Simpson trial was suddenly going to be taboo. In 1998, Dirty Work would hit theaters starring Norm Macdonald, who also co-wrote this movie. Interestingly enough, while it was in the theaters, none of the television shows airing on NBC at the time were allowed to advertise the film. With that said, Macdonald has continued to find work in both television and film, and can often be seen making small cameo appearances in movies starring former SNL friends Rob Schneider and Adam Sandler. And while I'm not a huge fan of every movie Adam Sandler has ever made, one thing is for certain: he's extremely loyal to his friends and tries to find roles for them in his movies if possible. Don Ohlmeyer would pass away in 2017 from complications of cancer at the age of 72. Ohlmeyer would go on record as saying that he had never told anyone to lay off the jokes about O.J. Simpson, whether at Saturday Night Live or The Tonight Show. Here's a picture of Norm Macdonald doing some stand-up at the Hollywood Improv in March of 2020. It was an adult-themed set filled with his thoughts about the beginning of the current pandemic. If you search YouTube, you can find the video of the comedy bit. So there you have it, the real reason that Norm Macdonald was fired from the SNL's Weekend Update. I believe Macdonald's take on what happened, despite what Ohlmeyer may have said to the contrary. It just seems like too big of a coincidence. What say you? How many of you were fans of Macdonald's time on SNL, and in particular, as the anchor for the Weekend Update? Who's been your favorite Weekend Update anchor? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, how about giving it a thumbs up? And while you're at it, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel, where I talk about movies, music, and TV shows from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there and have a great day.